Right, go.
Okay, so I have my lovely PCB, everything's routed, I'm happy that all the layers, because it's really important, when you send this off to the fabrication facility, they will not question you. They will not come back and say, that text looks like it's the wrong orientation. Are you sure you've mirrored it? They will not do that. They will take your money, produce your board and send it back to you. And if you have a problem, they're going to say, oh, sorry, you have to do it again. And that literally is it. If I've missed the track off, if I've got a short circuit on the track, you'll be very lucky if somebody phones up to say, oh, I found a problem with your board. Yeah? They're just going to produce your board as to how you've done it. So if you've done this board and you forgot to do the outline of the board and it's the size of a full panel, you're going to get $500–600 cost and a massive board with a few components in the middle. They're not going to question it. And I've seen it happen many times. So it's really important that you understand the orientation of the things. You look at the boards in 3D, you just double check that everything is exactly right. You can even print it out a one-to-one scale and physically check it, put the components on the footprints to make sure that you've got the right footprints. This is a very good thing. Print it out a one-to-one scale, get the component, stick it on the paper. Do the pads line up? If they don't, fix it before you send it off because they're not going to tell you. And when it comes back, you're going to be, oh, that pad's wrong, that footprint's wrong. You need to then find a way to get that component on there, and it might involve bending pins, soldering wire, turning the component over, having it the wrong way around. We've seen that all of these things happen. So when you're 100% sure that your board is good and you've done all those preliminary checks, then you need to export it as a Gerber file, or Gerber file, how do you pronounce it? Gerber?
I say Gerber.
Yeah, Gerber. So you export it as a Gerber file, and that is the format that the fabrication plant would accept to make your board. So what the Gerber file does is it strips the identity of the PCB production software out of the equation. Yeah? Whether you're using something like Altium, Eagle, KeyCAD, Ultiboard, they will all export the files as Gerber files, and that is what the fabrication plant will take. So to do that, what I need to do is, I'm happy, I've double checked everything, I've printed it out, everything is good, I'm now going to export it. And when I export it, I'm going to select here in this board that I want a Gerber file. Yeah, and by default it uses the RS-274, which is basically a published standard for Gerber file that everybody would adhere to. I don't really need to select anything else down here. I mean, it's just for mass production boards when you need to make sure that all the documentation goes with your board. So what I'm saying here is I want to export my Gerber files, and it's asking me what layers I want to export. Yeah? So I'm telling it that I want to export the copper layer, and the copper layer includes the top and the bottom. So I've got two layers going to the production manufacturer. I want to export some of the PCB layers, yeah? They don't need to know about your keep in and keep out, because at this point the copper is already poured on your diagram. So the keep in and keep out is for your benefit, to help you route the board. They don't need to know about it, yeah? So they do want to know about your board outline. They do want to know about your silk screen requirements, so they know where to put your text on, so they're selected. And they do need to know about your solder mask exposures, yeah? So all the things I pointed out there. So they're all ticked, ready to go. Board assembly is only if they're going to place the components and no such luck. Drill is very important. The drill drawings are separate files. What will happen is the entire board will be etched, built, pressed, and then it will go to a drilling process. And the drilling files and the drilling process will use a different set of files to create the job. An NC drill file, they're normally called. And we need to make sure that that's applied, else your board is going to come back, there'll be no holes in it. And then you'll be like, oh, I need to drill a 0.3mm hole down there. Trust me, it's very hard to do. So make sure that's all ticked. Luckily, it's very standard, so by default, Ultiboard already has them ticked. PCBs normally are manufactured in Imperial. I don't know why, it's always been that way. No reason why. And we don't really need to choose anything else. If you choose this reflection here, that can put you into a serious problem because it will reflect the entire layers of the board. And I think this is what happened last year with, what will happen is your board will come back and every single pad will be in a mirror image of the components. And so you know, it's a tough thing to get out of. So it's very best to leave everything like that how it is. And then we hit our export button. It's now going to process all these files, and it's going to export them to the folder that we've saved, which I think I've done in your drive, Joe. So now we have to come along and find these files. I think it puts it in a directory, doesn't it?
There is a national instruments file there, isn't
It doesn't pop that up there.
Particularly thing.
Okay, let's just find out where that's exported. So we're looking for some examples. Definitely not there. Multi-board exports. Okay?
it?
Great, there's a directory called multi-board exports. And inside here now we have a whole selection of files. Okay? It's pretty self-explanatory. We've got a board outline, copper bottom, copper top, got bottom drill, yeah? Drill info, drill symbols, drill copper top, copper bottom, silk screen, solder marks. Now, there's two important things we need to do. When you do your board, place your text of your name so that we can identify who that board is going back to. Yeah? That will be printed on your board. So there'll be no doubt. So don't forget to put your name on there. And then maybe even possibly save the multi-board file with your name on. Because what that will do is that will actually append your name or prepend your name to every one of these files. Or maybe your code, your email address, the first part of your email address.
Yeah, whatever, just so that you can identify your name.
And then once it's done that, it will put your identifier where it says example here, it will have your name, all these files. Every single one of these files will then need to be zipped up. I think that's probably the best way of doing it, isn't it?
Put it straight in the W drive.
Yeah, so I'll zip these up, send to a compressed folder, and I'll call it example GURBS, yeah? In your case, you'll have your name code here and GURBS. Then, if I load up my Explorer, I can go to the W drive. And inside this W drive, we want you to create yourself a folder and put your name code on there. And inside this folder, I want you to copy this Gerber file. Simple as that. And then when it comes to the deadline, we will look inside this folder and we will take all of these Gerber files, we'll put them on one big panel with cutouts in there, send it off to production, and then they'll all come back. Yeah? We're going to send off what you send in here. So if you haven't done the tests of printing it out and making double sure, when it comes back, you cannot come to us and say, oh, this has happened because we can't fix it. At that point there, the manufacturing process has happened. And this is real world. This is exactly how it happens in the businesses. So you've got, it's like the old saying, measure twice, cut once.
Yeah.
Just double check it before you send it, make sure, and it's going to save a lot of embarrassment. Any questions?
What's the deadline for the?
Next Friday.
Next Friday, end of play next Friday.
Okay.
So I mean, if you did it at midnight, that would still be okay, because we're not going to pull them off until the following Monday.